Here's a weird question. Why do so many gamers hate the most pro-consumer service in gaming? You know what? This isn't about Microsoft. This is about how gamers got captured by corporations. Welcome to Smart Gaming. So, yeah, it's been pretty rough for Microsoft recently. Mass layoffs, studios closed, confusion about strategy. People are throwing around Xbox is dead like it's a meme. And you know what? Maybe Xbox is dead. I personally don't believe so. I think they will make an effort to stay in the console hardware business, but I'll concede probably not as a traditional competitor in the console war. But here's what I care about. When I turn on Game Pass, it still works. It still gives me a library of games, including huge AAA releases. And I still don't need to spend $80 every time I want to try something new. That's a win for gamers, even if the Xbox business model is on fire behind the scenes. Now, the shocking thing to me isn't that Microsoft laid the people off recently. Corporations being ruthless is not news, and you'd be naive to think so. The real shock is how many gamers are cheering for the collapse of Game Pass. Like, what? This is one of the few services in gaming that's actually pro-consumer, and you're rooting for it to disappear? This is where the issue of brand loyalty comes in. Sony and, to a different extent, Nintendo have mastered the art of turning brand power into gospel. Console sales, proof of greatness. Price hikes, justified by quality. Meanwhile, services like Game Pass, which actually lower the barrier to entry, increase access, let people try games they'd never buy, are smeared as desperate or low tier. You have people online calling it welfare for gamers. This is what I call the corporate capture of gamers. The idea that your value as a gamer is tied to how expensive and exclusive your hardware and games are, while alternative options are promptly dismissed and delegitimized. And, that kind of mindset isn't new. We've seen this before with the PC master race versus console peasants debate. That was presented as a joke, but when you think about it, those same terms, master and peasant, are essentially socio-economic in nature, and implicitly tell you that you are a real gamer only if you go with the most expensive option out there. Gaming companies have simply extracted that mindset that already existed within the consciousness of the gaming community and converted it into a fully fledged business strategy. You are a real gamer only if you buy fully priced games, only if you buy and play on PC or traditional console hardware. On the other hand, Game Pass is for broke people. Game Pass is unsustainable. Real gamers buy games day one. If you can't afford $80, maybe gaming just isn't for you. What is unbelievable is that a company like Sony is likely deeply concerned about the long-term sustainability of its business model, which heavily relies on hardware sales in a world where young people are seemingly less and less interested in gaming consoles. And yet they very smartly managed to present their approach as the solid business approach, by tapping into the traditional metrics of success that are easy for gamers to understand. Console sales and console exclusives, regardless of the changing trends and habits of our societies. Now, if you support services like Game Pass today, you're in the minority. You're seen as coping, as someone who's cheap, as someone who's buying into a failed vision. But here's the irony. You're actually the one who's asking the right questions about value, access, and the future of gaming. Supporting Game Pass doesn't mean you're a fan of Microsoft. I'm not. I don't particularly like Microsoft products in general. And as a gamer, I have a longer history of engagement with PlayStation. However, the situation right now is that supporting Game Pass means you care about what gamers get, not what logo is on the plastic or what the console sales chart looks like. Meanwhile, the corporate capturing of gamers has created an army of zealots in what is essentially a corporate brand war. So yeah, Microsoft may be mismanaging Xbox. Game Pass may not last forever. But if it goes down, it won't be because it was bad for gamers. It'll be because gamers themselves refuse to stand behind something good just because it came from the wrong team. Thank you for watching. If this hit home, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments. This is Smart Gaming.